you guys. Now we're going to continue on with our assessments, moving to our cardiovascular system. So for our cardiovascular system, first we're going to start out by assessing our heart sounds. When we are listening to our heart sounds, we are first going to start out with the diaphragm of our stethoscope. So that's going to be the larger portion because that is used for listening to high-pitched sounds such as the heart and lungs. So we're going to start out listening to our heart sounds, then we're going to listen to our carotid arteries and look at our pulses. So first, we're going to go ahead and start listening. Sir, I'm going to be listening around on your chest. All right, this is our client, Mr. B again. So first we're going to start out listening for our aortic valve, which is over on our right side at the second intercostal space on our right sternum border. So we're going to start out. All right, now we're going to move on to our pulmonic valve, which is going to be on our second intercostal space on our left side. So just move right over. All right, now we're going to move on and listen to Erb's point, which is going to be on our third intercostal space on our left side. So that's just moving down a little bit. All right, now we're going to listen to our tricuspid valve, which is going to be on our fifth intercostal space on our left side. So again, moving down just a little bit. And now finally, we're going to move on to our mitral valve, which is in our fifth intercostal space, but more towards our center or our midclavicular line. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to listen to those exact same places using the bell of my stethoscope. This is used for lower pitch sounds such as heart murmurs, which is like a swishing sound, which is an abnormality that we'd be looking for. So we're going to go through the exact same places again. All right, now I'm going to have my patient, Mr. B here, turn on his left side, and we're going to listen to all of his heart sounds again while he's lying on his left side.
Like this.
Yes. Yeah, just leave that right there for me. All right, perfect. You can lie back on your back, please. Awesome. All right, so when we're listening to heart sounds, we're looking for, we want to hear an S1 and an S2, which is described as a lub-dub sound. What we don't want to hear would be an S3, which comes in after our S2. And then we don't want to hear an S4, which comes before our S1. An S3 is a ventricular gallop, and an S4 is an atrial gallop. Those would be abnormal heart sounds. And if we heard those, we would want to instruct our patient. We would want to look into those further. All right, now I'm going to palpate and listen to my client's carotid arteries. We are going to do those one at a time so that we do not occlude his carotids at the same time. All right, so we're going to start out with one side. So turn your head this way. You can see in the corner of my screen here, I'm just palpating those, and then I'm going to listen with the bell. All right, I want you to actually take a deep breath and hold it. Like take a... Beautiful, and then we're gonna turn to the other side. Good, and then take a deep breath and hold it. Perfect. So what we're doing there is we're listening for what's called a brewing, which is a swishing sound, which we do not want to hear. That would be abnormal. All right, perfect. All right, so now we're going to move on and we're going to palpate our peripheral pulses. So we would do this bilaterally on both sides. We want to compare pulses from right to left. We want them to be the same. Obviously, we want them to be equal. You want them to be the same strength. We grade our pulses. So we want to see a +2 for pulses. +3 would be bounding. We can see that with exercise. Anxiety, we also would be looking out for an S1, or not S1, a +1, which would be a weak and 30 pulse that we could see with peripheral arterial disease or like low blood volume. So we're gonna go ahead and start out with our radial pulses. All right, moving on to our brachial pulses. Lift those both up for me. All right, good. And we're going to do popliteal, which is going to be underneath our kneecaps. You could lift those up for me. Thank you. We're seeing those right underneath here. Thank you. All right, and then keep your feet up like that, sir. We're also going to look out here for our pedal pulses, or dorsalis pedis pulses. Those are on the tops of our feet here, so we're going to listen to those. And then our posterior tibialis, which is going to be kind of on the inside here. Beautiful. And that concludes our cardiovascular assessment.